Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rainy Nights, the segment of my YouTube channel where I interview other motor vloggers and motorcycle personalities. If you haven't been here before, I'm Rainy Rider. I ride a 2019 BMW Grand America and a 2021 Harley Sportster. Feel free to give the channel a like and a subscribe. Tonight we have Desiree, aka Windroad Therapy. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Desiree from Windroad Therapy. I am so happy to be here with Rainy Rider.
I'm happy to have you on.
Oh, we met at Forgotten Angels, so that's just family.
It's
right?
funny, yeah. So a year ago, last March, I met you the first time, and I had seen you on YouTube already, and I was so nervous, and I was like, "Hey, Windroad Therapy, I watch you. Can I give you a sticker?" And you were like, "Yeah, come here." And it was, and from then on, it's like family. Yeah, it's everybody's just so great. So
I have a lot of people that, like after I post the pictures and I make little collages or I made a reel, and they're like, I want to go. But it seems like you guys are already family, a tight-knit family. But there's always more room for family.
Oh yeah, there's always room for new babies in a family. I mean, bring them in.
That's
yeah.
Right. So if you're thinking about coming down to Forgotten Angels in March or October, come on down. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of love to go around. They're our steady buddies, you and Mrs. Rainy Rider, and we just embrace everybody.
We do have a whole lot of fun, and it gets better every year. So,
It does.
I guess I would say you're not missing anything by missing them, but all you're missing out is the most fun every time, because every time it's more fun. So,
Right. I think, and we have a lot of people in the side chat. We have Carson, the adventurous rider, and we have Mark, motor mortician, Keith Hibbert. Oh yeah, there we go. Sky's the limit. He's right here in Tampa, and 9 Mills. Like 9 Mills is my brother, hands down. I call him my brother. He's got my back at all times. I love him, but there's just that sense of community and family that I've felt nowhere else from so many other people.
oh, absolutely. So you and Matt was telling me y'all might miss y'all's date this last weekend to Steinenvine. Did you actually get to go, or did Joe?
We did.
Okay.
My back was really bothering me. So on Saturday, I got there really late, and we went to Steinenvine, and I drove because my back. I was afraid I was going to drop the bike. Like you tweak it, and you're at a stoplight or whatever. That's it. So I just drove down. I got there late. Yeah, there's Journey of Jerry. Love it. You see, but every camp out, and Mark, who has been at every motor mortician in the side chat, and 9 Mills, who has also been at every camp out, can attest that every camp out has a different vibe.
Yes. And they're not bad, It's just an absolutely different feeling.
They all have a different. Hey, Thomas, say hard. Yeah,
we got a lot of people. Goon's in here. The Adventurous Rider. All my friends are here.
Yes, there we go.
That's cool. My Done Life's in here.
Widows Assemble. I know. I watch it. He has it on Friday nights, right? The Widows Assemble.
He
But
did.
He had it tonight.
He's gonna have it tonight. I think he moved the time to 9 tonight. So we'll see. He can throw it in the chat what time it's going to be, because if you don't miss, or if you don't watch the Weirdos Assembled, it's just us. Probably like eight of us get together, and we just have a ball. We just talk about things, and think tonight we're going to talk about the camp out, and just you never know where it's going to go, because it's just a bunch of friends having fun, talking smack to each other, really. But it is a lot of fun. Well, let's kick this one off.
Yes.
So where are you from? Where are you from, and what do you ride?
I am from New York City, and I ride a 2018 Kawasaki Vulcan S650, and I have a brand new baby in the garage, and she is a 2022 Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic 114. She is reef blue and vivid black, and she is beautiful.
She is beautiful. I saw it. It was gorgeous. It was like, and I saw it before you announced it, and I was like, I had to sit on it. I was like, okay, I did this cool little interview, and I was like, I can't talk about it, but it's a gorgeous bike. So I had to wait for you to actually post it. And then I was like, oh yes, now I can post it.
Mike Branch put it in a video before I announced it, and then he was talking about it. Jay and Josh were live, and he was talking about it, and Colleen's whispering, "Stop." It's all good. It's
cool.
all good.
Yeah.
Nobody picked up on it, so unless you knew to look for it, you wouldn't know that that was my bike because I wasn't standing next to it. I love her. I
Yeah,
do.
it's a
So
gorgeous bike. So, how long have you been riding?
I've been riding since September of 2018. So in my mind, I say I'm not riding that long. A lot of people are like, stop it. You've been riding a long time. The Kawasaki has 22,500 miles and the Heritage has 63 and change.
Yeah, but you come up fast. I mean, I've seen you ride in rain. I've seen you ride on gravel. I've seen you ride
Oh,
in heat. I've seen you ride in cold. So yeah, I mean,
yes.
I think there's a bucket. Just like people have bucket lists, I think there's markers for motorcycle riding that once you meet them, it's like not that it kind of qualifies you per se, but once you hit those marks, you're a rider. So, and I think you've hit them all. I mean, and you get around too, and you crammed a lot into
Yes,
a short time. So
I do. I do. With my RV, oh, my old RV, my girl, she taught me so much, but I do have a new RV. But that last RV that I had, I put, I traveled over 33,000 miles with her really in 2.5 years because COVID stopped 2020. So we weren't allowed to travel. All the campgrounds closed, and you know we only had half of 2020, which started out with a bang. My shakedown trip was Sturgis.
you know what's funny? I actually got more big rides in after COVID or during COVID than before because all of a sudden it was like, and I've talked to some other people. Once COVID hit, you started realizing time is short. I got to get out and do stuff,
Yes,
and it makes you
100%.
aware. Yeah, it makes you aware of your mortality. So it makes you, all those things you've been putting off for so long. It makes you go, nope, I'm going to do these things, and I'm going to do them now.
Right. And in all of those 33,000 miles, I got to meet almost everybody in this side chat right there.
Yep,
So that's pretty. We are blessed.
we are. We got
So
Aaron's in there, nothing at random. Northern
yes.
Adventures, Father Bobber's in, another guy that I got to meet and have a good time with. I'm trying to get so we're going to be in Nashville here next month, I think it is. Billy rides, G My rides, a new friend of mine who swears is going to cook for me. So yeah,
Oh, sweet.
it's funny how quick this little family just
Yes,
gels and vibes and goes, come to my
absolutely.
house. Come play in my neighborhood. Come play on my swing. I'll
That's
bring
it.
I'll bring a ball. Yeah, it's
Look,
it's it's just a lot of fun.
we have midlife moto crisis and Iowa hog rider. Like I spent a week, just 5 days with Iowa hog rider, and we rode all over Iowa with him and Thomas de Hartung, and it's just I love it. Yes, the Mad Yankee. Yes, I'm going up to see you in Laconia. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to fully retire. I told you that earlier. It's like all this got to run back because I got to get to work and I got to get stuff ready, and I'm ready for that to be over. I'm ready to say, yeah, I got to get back where I can pack for my next trip. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. So
It is, and it may sound like, oh yeah, she told me the same thing because they say I'm so excited to go see the Mad Yankee up in Laconia, along with Roadie Riders and Michael Bike and all those guys that are up there in the northeast. And then I see the same thing, like I'm going to Americade and I'm going to see Noggin and Roy's Moto Venture and Bob from Upstate Rider, and I'm like, I'm excited that I am so because I'm from New York and I've been to Lake George numerous times, but it was to stay on the lake. I didn't have a motorcycle, so I didn't ride the roads. So it wasn't about the roads, it was about the lake. But this trip is going to be about the road and Miss Kelp Fire. And
yep,
we
yep.
have a special guest with us in Murky, but I don't want to put it out there. So,
All right. So I already know this kind of, but fair weather rider or rough rider, you'll pretty much ride in anything. I mean, if
you
you're
know
on the
what?
bike, you just ride.
If it happens when I'm out on the bike, it happens. But if it's raining, this is Florida, and you open up the door in the summertime and it's raining, you're like, okay, you're gonna close the door and you're gonna go back to doing something else because in a half hour it will pass and then you could go ride.
Yeah.
So I don't purposely go out in the rain, but if it happens, I mean, we got hailed on in the after Chief Joseph Scenic Byway, so what is that? Beartooth Pass. We got hailed on. So if you saw her two wheels and full throttle hog, they got hailed
Yeah.
on. It happens there, and that happened to us. We were there in July, and they were there in August, and it still happened to them. So hail is a thing, on Beartooth Pass.
I have seen more than one person, more than just Herty Wheels and you, get hailed on. It's crazy. Basically it's just in these passes, the wind starts to circulate, and it just keeps throwing the ice and the wind up and into the colder atmosphere. And it's almost like outside St. Louis, and then the north part of Chicago is the same way. It just catches that wind and the lake effect and the stream, and all of a sudden it just makes hail, and you can almost on your watch count on a calendar the day it's going to start hailing, because that's when all the air currents change.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy.
Sure. And, if you want to see when it's going to hail on Beartooth Pass, it's going to be every day. Apparently. And my dumb life said, me and Kelfire, man, that would be a fun conversation. Well, my dumb life, both Kelfire and myself will be at the Ohio Windy Nine meetup. So, yeah.
Very cool. If anybody's got questions for us, do the at Rain Rider or at Windroad Therapy, because that'll highlight for us, and we'll see it, and it'll pin us up. So if you got questions, throw them in the chat.
All right.
So how did you get into motorcycles? You said you started in 2017. So what made you go, you know what I need to do? Ride a motorcycle.
Well, it goes back further, because I started shopping for an RV first. And because I knew that when I retired, I wanted to go see the country. So I started watching YouTube channels on RVing, and I was like, oh wow, there's a dude, he's got a Class C, and he has a TRW 200, and he just puts it on the back bumper of the Class C. Well, the TRW is too tall for me. I'm short, vertically challenged. I have a short inseam. And Carson, that's in June 22nd to the 25th. It's on Facebook. Go hit up Toby and you can see it there. So I wanted to do that. So now I had to change mode and find a bike first that I could fit on and learn to ride, because I had never ridden a motorcycle. I've been a passenger on a motorcycle, but I've never operated a motorcycle. So I knew I wanted to see the country, and I knew that I wanted to see it up close and personal and not from inside of a car. Does that make sense?
It does.
Right? Because there's so much more. When you're on the roads, it's the smells. Right?
Yeah. And I tell people that when you're on a motorcycle, there are things you're going to feel and smell and see that you don't see in a car, because in a car, you're literally you're this much. You're this much.
Right.
In a bike,
That's good.
You're everything. And this smells, the honeysuckle. I never knew, parts of where I was riding to work every day, there was honeysuckle, until I started riding a motorcycle. And I was like, I can smell the honeysuckle. I can smell this. I can smell that. Now I can smell the sewage plant. Wish I would have done this today. But it's things you just don't smell. But it's, it makes you more aware. And even the colors.
I'm
yeah.
Right here on the ocean. So I have the ocean. And then, like when you're on Needles Highway and Iron Mountain Road and you can smell the pine, it's just, it's outstanding.
Aaron wants to know, what has been your favorite scenic view you found while traveling?
Going to the Sun Road in Glacier National Park in Montana. By far, for me, so far, has been the most beautiful road that I have ridden on.
Are you reading Brewers? Yeah.
So if you have the opportunity to go to Glacier National Park and ride the Going to the Sun Road, the views are just so expansive. This year I will have the chance to ride the $1 Million Highway, and everybody says that also has spectacular $1 Million views. But right now, so far, it has to be the Going to the Sun Road.
Okay. And then, did you just get a bougie RV?
I did just get a bougie RV. Thank you. I guess she's maybe her middle name will be Bougie. I got a 2023 Grand Design Momentum 29G. So I felt as though when I traveled with my other RV, it was all in one, meaning the garage was in the kitchen, then flowed to the bathroom, and the master bedroom was private. But the bottom line is the bike was always right there. And on travel days, the bike was right there. I didn't have any place to sit. I didn't have any place to eat. So I just wanted to put her in her own little room. This way she could, and I can have some place to sit. Now I have a couch. It had benches, but the benches were up and the benches were up. So now I have some place to sit, eat, a little bit more space.
Now you have some bouge.
Now I'm slightly bougie.
Billy's asking, what's the furthest you've ever ridden on a ride?
The furthest I've ever ridden, I've done 600 miles in a day. That's the longest. And that was when I rode from New Jersey. I was camping, Turkey Swamp Park. It's a county park in Freehold. And we rode to the Flight 93 Memorial in Pennsylvania. So that was 600 miles.
Right on.
The previous longest one was probably down to from Custer to Cheyenne, Wyoming to meet up with the World Record Poker Run. So,
all right. Christian Biker says, "Hey to everyone," and if he doesn't say hi individually, don't be offended. I'm gonna piggyback on that because yes, if we don't individually say hi to you, we're saying hi anyway because this is I'm new to editing and producing and running this thing. So if say directly hi to you, I'm sorry, but yeah, I got a lot going on here, so try not to bury myself.
We got Toby, Bleak's Ride, Flip is there.
Flip and the Bee Mule. Yep.
There you go. Brad, Iowa, Journey of Jerry. We mentioned him earlier. Of course, Keltfire. She's going to be my partner in crime. Keltfire is going to help me open up my travel season, and she's going to close out my travel season because we're going to Americade in May, and then at the end of the season, my last trip will be to Tennessee, and Dallas is having a moto meetup. Hi, Diana.
It's not Diana. It's my clone.
Oh, okay.
You can step in. It's so she can duck down.
Oh my goodness! How beautiful! Hello.
Yeah, she's okay. And then the other monster back there. All right.
Oh, there we go. Lost on the Road is here. In case you all don't know who Lost on the Road is, he is the winner of the Road King Kong that was raffled off. How is Road King Kong?
Yeah, it's probably good. I saw it at the last camp out. It's just as beautiful at the last camp out as it was when they gave it away. So he's taking good care of that bike.
He is, and he is. Oh, no! Iowa, yes, but he rode it all the way across, so the country and then back. Iowa Hog Rider John, he thought that it was a Field of Dreams. He said the ride, which is my favorite ride. So my favorite ride is the going to the Sun Road. However, my favorite experience, hands down, was the Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Lost on the Road says he's hiding the bike from the hail. Totally understand.
Oh, we were just talking about hail, so we understand for sure.
All right, moving on with our questions before I forget. We're here to ask questions, but
Yes.
who inspires you to ride?
I didn't have anybody around me that rode because this was just what I wanted to do when I retired. My dad used to have a bike in the 70s for a couple of years, but it was solely for commuting, and then we would take a Saturday or Friday night ride along the expressway. There were no country roads. I don't have an answer for that one.
All right, Billy says thank you for all the workshops that you do, because he's learning a lot. That's Toby and I, and the Badgers were kind enough to give us a platform where we could hold the workshops. And the concept was, once we strapped a camera onto our helmet, what then? Like, there was no, in my eyes, and to you guys out there, whoever inspired you, I started watching Blockhead because I needed to learn how to ride. And he was teaching Miss Blockhead at the time how to ride. So I was watching those. And so, I was gifted a GoPro camera. It was on the bike from the minute she left the dealership. And I didn't know anything about editing and putting on YouTube. Wasn't even a concern or care. And then just one day I was like, well, I'm going to have all of these grand adventures. Why not put it out on YouTube? Why Definitely.
can't they see it the perspective of a female in her 50s, because how many out there are, and from a, on the bike. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
And I'll make a statement here. You can tell me how you feel about it. I tell people when they want to start YouTubing, and they're like, well, I need to wait for this, and I need to wait to get my editing stuff. And I say, just do it. Start doing it. You'll see. You'll think a certain way, and then once you make that video and you put it on the internet, you'll see it for what it really is, and you'll make your own corrections from there. And it might.
Correct.
If you wait till you got it perfect, you'll never do it. Right. Just keep going and making your corrections and learning from them as you go.
So then, like you learn little things, little tips and tricks, but once you have the camera and you start going forward with your editing process, there was no place to go as a moto vlogger to go and learn, because we're different, like the motorcycle shaking, and how do you get past that? Yes, there's stabilization on the cameras, but there was anywhere on the internet, in Facebook, on YouTube, that had that forum for moto vloggers and creating moto content. You could just be working on your bike. It's motorcycle related, and it's on any platform. It could be TikTok, Instagram. We have some people that just do reels, constant reels, and it goes over to Facebook, and that's their thing. They don't have to put out YouTube videos, and some of the people that put out the reels are spectacular. They just don't have time for full videos because they're working, and I get that. I totally get that. Yeah. So it's somewhere they can go and learn.
I tell people learn as much as you can, but do your own thing. You're gonna learn. It's like building a recipe. You're gonna get all these ingredients, and you're gonna find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and just keep on moving. And you'll try things, and don't be afraid to try things. Try something new. And if it doesn't work, move on to something else. I think I'm still working on my perfect, video or my perfect form, but I've been lucky enough, I guess, to learn from my own mistakes and make pretty good videos. So you just get better with time, and you'll never be actually perfect, but keep going.
Right.
So Journey of Jerry's asked me what area of the country if I not ridden in that I want to ride in. I want to go see GMA rides. I have never been to the Pacific Northwest. I've been there. I've never been riding there. And all of the cool roads, leading there through Montana and around Portland and up through Washington State and even down into California. That's just beautiful roads. All politics aside, I want to go there. I want to ride there, Yeah, you're going to pay more for gas. You're going to pay more for snacks. You're going to pay more for lodging. But I want to go there anyway because it's just beautiful country.
That's why I like the RV, because it's cost efficient in that respect. Because I load up here as much as I can without going over my gross vehicle weight rating, and that helps save money along the way. And you eat inside, and I prep a lot of food, pre-cook a lot of food and freeze it. Saves time on that aspect. But, I'll get there. I'll get to the West Coast as well.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is go to Sturgis. Sturgis is always my jumping off point. And then this year, it's going to be Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, and then back home. So next year, I'm hoping for Idaho, Utah, Arizona, and then finally it will be Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada. So.
Arizona and Nevada are actually the places that I don't actually want to ride to, because I've seen people ride through them and just nearly die.
No.
I wouldn't mind going. Now, I've rode through Las Vegas. I've gone to Las Vegas, rented a Harley, and rode through the Fire Canyon, and it was absolutely gorgeous because they tell you don't ride through until about an hour before the sun sets. Take off from Vegas and go. And by the time you get there, it looks like the entire valley is on fire. They don't call it the Valley of Fire for nothing. It is absolutely gorgeous. And when the sun hits it and the heat's coming off of it, it actually looks like the rock is on fire. Highly, highly, highly recommend going if you haven't done that part. So
no, I have not. It's definitely. Oh, look at Gunny Z is here. What?
Gunny Z showed up. He's here for the beer. Yeah, Marines only show up for beer and tacos. So Gma says she knows where all the cool riding areas are. Yes, that's why I'm going to your house, Gma.
Nice. Do you have room for an RV in your yard, Gma? And she's in our Support Bikers group too, our content creators group.
And is the shovel head running? I will totally come if the shovel head's running because I want to ride that bike.
Oh gosh. Okay, Ray. Have fun. Let us know how that works out. I would stay away from Phoenix. Your worst threat is other drivers. Actually, I've been to Phoenix 4 times, so I get it. You know, not with the bike or with the RV, but just traveling there. My friends live there.
Yeah, we just lost a friend out there. So the
Yeah.
driving is dangerous there. It's definitely one of those things that the city has grown faster than they can actually the infrastructure did, and this traffic is crazy.
I'm from New York City, so
Yeah.
I think I kind of.
Take your best shot. Yeah.
I think I kind of got that under control.
That was it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I grew up in Texas, so when I was riding a motorcycle, literally the traffic jam meant you had to, if the speed limit was 55, it meant you had to slow down under 65. That was a traffic jam.
Yeah, yes,
So,
says that all the time.
so here, yeah, I mean, there's parts of Houston, if you go less than 70 miles an hour on these overpasses and on these cloverleafs, you're going to get ran over.
Oh,
You
Lord.
you don't slow down. You do not slow down.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so would you rather a solo ride or a group ride?
How about both? Can I choose both?
Yes.
I mean, today I had a solo ride and it was nice. And Robin the Lady Biker is in the house, all the way from Australia. So that's exciting.
Oh, excellent. Is she here? Is she here?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've sent her I'm trying to get her interview too. What's
Oh, there
what's hard doing these interviews is when you hit somebody up on Instagram and go, "Hi, I'm some random dude that wants to get you on my camera and interview you." They go, "Yeah, delete." So it's hard building a repertoire with people that you don't know. But that's what I've decided this year is to actually start interviewing people that I don't know. Try to get people in, and I've been successful in a couple of them. I've got Red Rider. I've got Small Bore Two Wheels, never met before. And not so much that I don't know them, but I've never met them. So, because I'm trying to work on my thing. So yeah, Robin Lady Biker, I would love to do an interview with you. So go back through those messages I sent and undelete it, and we'll get in contact.
Mark says there's a casting couch scam. Mark.
For a mortician to say that's anyway. I'm not even gonna go there. So
Oh, yeah, his casting couch. That's kind of creepy.
Cassie and casket.
What happens in closed caskets stay in closed caskets. Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
So Okay. So group rides, solo rides.
I've been a part of actually Bert's Barracuda down here for their toy run. He estimated that he had over 1,000 bikes on his toy run. And if you've seen my videos, the parking lots, 2 of them are jam-packed, and Shade Tree and David and Cindy along with Paul Sr., led last year's toy run. And it's phenomenal. I've done a few in New York City that were September 11th related, and they're the large group rides are controlled environments, and they're really I enjoy them as well. And I like riding with friends too, so
I got to go on a group ride with you. Yeah, we went on a small group ride, and
good.
we luckily you were tail gunning on that because we had a couple of guys who absolutely were not used to riding in a group. Were barely used to riding by themselves, and you cleaned them up quite nicely. So thanks for that. Kept them in line. Cracked that whip. What is your favorite? So speaking of meetups, there's meetups that happen very periodically, and then there's meetups that you go, hey, I just want to go somewhere and drink a beer with people and have food. So what is your favorite periodic moto meetup?
Well, oh wow. We have been doing a moto meetup for 2 years now in Sturgis at the Big Engine Bar at the Buffalo Chip. And that's pretty cool because it's Sturgis, in my opinion, is centralized, and everybody goes there. So there's a lot of people in the side chat that have been there. Mrs. Monkey, the Badgers, Toby and his wife. Was Bob there? No. But then we do the moto meetup down here in Daytona, and that one we have equally as many people. A couple of years ago, we did one at Biketoberfest, and we had tons of people. Bob and Tam, Baggers and Brews, Robert Simmons, Barber CVO. It's just great to see all of these fellow content creators and just get to say hello. And yeah, the monkeys again. They're at all of the meetups that we have. We try to have them here. So they can
Excellent.
make it. They're busy. They're very, very busy.
So now, as far as if you're sitting at home and somebody calls you and says, "Hey, Desi, let's go out for a beer and a pizza,"
Okay.
where are you gonna go?
Probably pizza.
You're gonna ride there. It could be anything. It could be it could be oysters. It could be fish fry. But you need to ride there.
I'm gonna take them. Oh yeah, it's right, not too far away. I'm gonna take them to the upper deck. It's right along the Wiki Wachee River, and it's the most beautiful water that we have here in Florida. Is the natural spring waters, and there's a county park right across, and you're up above the water, and you can see into the water. And if there's manatees in the water, you can see the manatees. So that's my go-to spot, the upper deck.
I want to say, first time I actually saw manatee in real life, I went with my wife to, I think it was called Cold Springs. She can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think it was called Cold Springs, and it was up by Gainesville. And that thing was good reason they call him a sea cow. It literally looked like a cow with its legs chopped off.
They're so gentle.
Yeah.
They're when you see it for the first time, you're like, holy snap. But they're not going to do anything to you. And they don't have a natural predator, so Arabica, yes, exactly, Gunny.
Yeah.
A little bit. Oh, that's your spot, Gunny. Okay, I gotcha.
I'm gonna have to go down sometime when I don't have the Forgotten Angels and I don't have a lot of other stuff to do, and actually go to some of these places where everybody, likes to go to. I think we have lost her. Stand by. All right. So, Robin the Lady Biker, I will send you another message, because I would love to get new people on an interview. If anybody, any of you guys want to do an interview, just message me on Instagram or here. Put comments in there, because I am looking for more people to interview. I do want to branch out. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to get her back in here. Well, if you guys got any comments in the meantime, give me some questions. We'll have them for when she comes back. Sorry about that. A lot of weird technical difficulties. It's Sunday night. People want to talk to their kids or whatever. I'm not sure. Hang in there. If you didn't have technical difficulties, you wouldn't know it was live, right? Okay, so I got her coming back. Stand by. Robin, thank you very much. I did pay the internet bill. I promise. It's on her side, not mine. Matter of fact, the last 3 times I have interviewed people from the Tampa area, I have lost them. So I think it's Tampa's internet, hopefully not mine. I think her internet's gone. So, Robin the Lady Bikers, you're going to be coming back to the States sometime soon? Okay, we got her coming back. Here we are.
All right.
Hi. So I was just telling the internet, they were asking if I paid my internet bill, and
No, that would be me.
Well, the last 3 people that I've interviewed from the Florida area, I've lost them on the internet. I've lost them on the stream. So I think it's something in the Florida area.
Huh. I don't doubt that. It hasn't been. It's been a while since I lost the internet, though. Yes, and Miss Robin, since you put it out there, I wasn't going to put it out there. She wrote, "Cannot wait to connect with Des and Stacy. That's Kelpfire at Babes Ride out East Coast." So she's our special guest. That I'm picking up. Miss Kelpfire is going to be on 95, sticking her leg out, and I'm going to pick her up.
Do it.
And then Miss Robin is going to join us. So that's pretty. I'm very
So,
excited.
Journey of Jerry is saying he'd like to go through the redwood forest, and that brings up a point. There are places I'd rather go on the BMW, and there are places I'd rather go on the Sportster. And I think a redwood forest, I think that part of California, I'd rather be on the Sportster.
Really?
I think I'd feel more connected to it. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, 'cause it's smaller?
It's smaller. There's not so much fairing blocking everything.
Huh. That's a
So,
good point. I
yeah.
can't bring both. I mean, I could.
Unless I got a trailer like yours, and then I could just haul everything.
Thanks, Jerry. Now I'm going to bring both bikes, but I can't on this trip because Miss Kelfire is going to put her 1200 low, right? That's what it is. She has and they're going to share the garage space, so I can't bring both bikes. This trip will be 5 months on the road, straight.
Wow. That's a trip.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to that. You take the best pictures. you take lots of awesome pictures. You're like it reminds me of, I can't remember which Oscar started it, but when you do like big group pictures, that's kind of become your thing that I look forward to. When you take those big group pictures, you in the front and everybody else in the back, and I try to find everybody in the back that I know. It's like a Where's Waldo, but there's like 15 Waldos in the background. So I wonder who that is. Anyway, our next question. What's the stupidest thing you've ever done on a motorcycle?
Dropper.
Nah, that's not stupid.
Well,
That just happens. I mean,
yeah, nobody wants to drop their bike. I dropped my bike. Now, here are two very experienced motorcyclists. I have Belle's Ride and her husband, Andy, and they both ride road glides. So here is Miss Belle. She's about 5'6", 5'7", and she's handling that road glide like a champ, right? So we're camping together, and they pull up in front of my trailer, and I'm on my Kawasaki, and I'm so excited. We're going to go ride. And I was like this, and I'm looking at the handlebars, and I was like, oh, I don't have my gloves. So I just went like this and got off the bike, didn't put the kickstand down, and there we went. So I was, it's embarrassing when you have, experienced riders, and they were like, well, at least you got that out of the way.
Tweedledee is asking. Yeah, you saw it the same time I did. Go ahead and answer that one.
Well, yeah, because they came to the Moto meetup, Tweedledee and Nori, so that was great. Finally got to meet Tweedledee. So,
Okay.
little hell raising photo bomb.
Yeah. Billy is asking, what GPS do you use when you're on a motorcycle?
My phone. Just my phone. I should have, especially riding through the mountains of Montana and Yellowstone, I should have another one. That's a good point.
I use a TomTom all the time, and then when I'm on trips like to Florida, I'll have the TomTom, and then I'll have my phone up on the rock form mount because I'm always looking for alternate routes. Because one gives me the shortest route, and then the other one gives me the route without tolls. And then sometimes it'll give you an alternate route that'll and it might say equal time or 2 more minutes. And if you can see the road backing up, I'll just take the road. And I do that going to Tampa all the time because Tampa traffic is absolutely nuts. And my Google map is better on streets, so I'll have the TomTom running, and then if I need to get off the highway, I'll run the Google Maps on my phone.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I should look into that before I leave because there is no internet service, kind of like what just happened now. And then you can't unless I download the maps prior to going out.
Yeah.
And Robin says, I'm a bit jealous, but I also wish you could come to Australia. It is my goal to go back to Australia. I've been to Australia, but I have not been to the western part of Australia.
G My Rise is asking, have you heard of a bee? I may have lost something. Is that for navigation or?
I don't know.
Breaks down by turn.
Okay. No, I have not, but I shall look into that for sure. Hi, Corey.
Oh, Bry's here. I didn't see Bry come in.
Cool. Nice. All right, gonna have to check that out. B. Turn by
So,
turn. Okay.
all right. So, what is your scariest moment on a bike?
Oh, I have had a couple of close encounters, and I just put one in the Support Bikers Content Creators group where I was. We had just gotten communication devices, my friend and we were looking for the beginning of the Lincoln Highway. Well, not the beginning, but a part of the Lincoln Highway. Lincoln Highway goes coast to coast, right? Lost on the Road should know about Lincoln Highway because it parallels I-80 and runs some parts through 80. So we were in New Jersey, and I'm in the lane. He's in, he's on one side. I'm behind him, and a car just came in. It's not even a parking lane. There's not even enough room to park, and they were riding right on the line. But I had the lane. It was my lane all the way, and they just didn't care. So, can I turn my volume any?
I've got you. I've got you pretty loud. I can hear you really well.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get it from my end.
Am I blocking the speaker?
I've got you cranked all the way up. No, I can actually hear you really well.
Okay.
So,
All right.
sorry, Gma.
Toby. Yeah. All right. I probably dated myself. Oh, gliding on Tuesday. Okay. There we go.
So, Faglide's asking. Oh, go ahead.
No, I had a couple of close calls where people just, it's my lane, and they just decided to come into the lane.
All right.
Okay, 9 mils is saying it's good.
Okay. So, Faglide's asking, do you still do diving?
I do not. I have not dove in a while, and that is because of lung issues, so to speak. So I don't. Diving. We don't belong down there. So if I'm gonna have a medical issue, I don't want it to be at 80 or 100 feet.
Good point.
Because there's an 85. If you go from 80, 100 feet, and you go right to the surface, there's an 85% chance that you are going to die. And then there's a good possibility that you will be disabled. So, yeah, no. If you survive it, you're going to be a vegetable. So.
Well, that's not good at all.
No. So, I don't want to experience a medical condition, a medical issue down at depth. And then, you're going to have the fight or flight. You could be calm. I'm a dive master. I used to be able to stay down for a long period of time, and people would have to surface. So I really had good breath control, but I don't want to chance that now.
Right on.
Thank you for asking.
All right. What has been your favorite part of riding?
Meeting everybody. Hands down. I never would have met anyone here if I didn't start riding.
Asking for the audience, am I louder than she is? I may have my microphone turned up too loud. Like I said, I'm still getting used to all this editing and production stuff, so am I louder than she is? Is that what the problem is? I can probably turn myself down.
Toby wears headphones. So Toby would really be able to...
Oh, and I will say, anybody that's using earbuds, if you've only got one earbud in, I am? Okay, I am going to bring myself down a little bit. Yeah, if you're only wearing one earbud, you're going to hear one of us louder than the other because this is actually, I'm putting this out in stereo, so she's going to come through stronger on one side, and I'm going to come through stronger on the other side. Okay, I've equalized this a little bit. That should be a little better.
There you go. Favorite part of riding? That is a big answer. No, listen, we never would have met. I wouldn't know anything about David and Cindy. I wouldn't know, Robin. Anybody here, I would not know. Hands down.
Good answer.
I sound a little bit far away. You want me to move up?
All right. What has been the most frustrating part of riding for you?
Improving. improving, right? Because I think I want to get better at riding, slower speed skills. I'm going to work on that because Mr. Robert Simmons, he's coming to Florida. So stand by for that. So just, improving my skills.
Okay.
That's turn
Ro-
Des up if you can.
I've got her turned up as far as I can. Robin, I just saw your message. I will answer you and get back to you after this. I'm excited. I'm excited to interview people. I am. And just so you know, I did interview someone from Tasmania, and the connection was fine. So if you're worried about that, it's a perfect fine. Yeah, I've already equalized her audio. That's about as good as it's going to get. I'm using Riverside, so it's different than the three dots you're talking about. But yeah, it's I've got her as good as she's going to get today.
Sorry, I need to get better equipment then, right? I'm only using the
Yeah, I
laptop.
bought this. Yeah, I got this cool new microphone, and it's
Okay.
um it's too much for me apparently. Maybe if I turn it away a little bit. All right, next question. What is the most frustrating part of riding for you?
We improve my skills, right? We I want to improve on my skills. The Kawasaki is a hard bike to do. No, the Kawasaki is not hard to do slow speed skills on.
Robin, yes, I can multitask, but I can only do one task at a time. So I can
Well,
multitask, but I'm like a squirrel. Once I turn away from something, I forget that I'm even doing it. So, yeah,
no, the Kawasaki is awesome in every way possible, except that I wanted a little bit more power, and the Kawasaki is sleeping on the job, hands down. They haven't done anything to improve their motorcycle line at all, except for change the tank colors periodically. They haven't added any new bikes, so to speak. I think they added the 800, which was a cafe style bike, and that's what does that do for the rest of the cruisers and the sport bike riders? You put out a cafe bike, nothing.
yeah. In the '90s, yeah, in the '90s, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, you could look at their bikes, and literally every 2 years they had new bikes, and it was exciting and
Right,
new. And then when Yamaha went to Star, and then when Suzuki started just making a flat line, nothing got new. There was nothing new coming out. There were no new sport bikes, no new cruisers. And it was like same bike forever. And they just like Suzuki just changed the name to the M line,
right.
and they just stopped. It's like this is our bikes. Here they are. You're welcome.
Thing. But and said this before previously in another live stream. Honda has the 300, the 500, and now the 1100, and I think they stopped making the 300 Rebel. So if Honda can have the 500 Rebel and the 1100 Rebel, then Kawasaki could have the 650. It's a sport cruiser, so it's before you get to the 900-pound Vaquero, which I couldn't even stand her up in the showroom floor. But if they keep that same body frame and just put a bigger engine like the Rebel 1100, then you know I would not have the Heritage in my garage.
Yeah.
100%.
And the Kawasaki, their motorcycle line is a side line really. Their big
Right.
thing is actually making big engines for forklifts and for heavy industrial equipment and for generators overseas. So the motorcycle line is probably their smallest little wedge in their economic structure. That's why they don't look at it very much. It doesn't
Right.
make them a lot of money. You would think it
Terrible.
does. Yeah. Our next question. Okay, so what are your plans for the new year? You're talking about going on tour. Have,
Woo!
have,
Yeah, I know, right? I'm going on tour. So, yeah, last year I was on the road for 5 months, but it wasn't consecutive. This is going to be five consecutive months, and it just changed because from Ohio, I was going to come back home for 2 weeks, and then I have an opportunity, so I'm just going to leave for the 120th earlier, but I'm going to stay in Michigan in between Ohio. So we're going to Americade. From Americade, I've never been to Maine, so Americade used to run back into Laconia, but because it's the Laconia 100, there's a week in between now. So that week in between, I'm just going to go to Maine, do some riding there, check out Acadia National Park, and then go to Laconia. From Laconia, going to New Jersey. I have a family wedding. From there, going to the Ohio 99 meetup at the end of June, then to Michigan, to the Harley 120th, Then I'm going to check out Wisconsin, Minnesota, and North Dakota. Never been there. Just want to see the beauty of the country and visit a couple of national parks there. It's a goal to visit as many national parks as I can. Sturgis, and then down, like I said, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, hang out with the buffaloes, and then over to Dallas's meetup to close out the travel year.
So Adams Campground is in where again?
Moyers, Oklahoma. Yes, that's all
Oklahoma.
part of it. Yeah, after New Mexico, we're going to Oklahoma. So,
And Oklahoma is one of those places I have been and don't want to go back to.
well, the Talamina was nice. They need to improve on the roadway, but it was nice riding on top of the like every area of the country is different. It's the Talamina. You're riding on the crest of the mountain, so you can see both sides. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was stationed there twice in Fort Sill, and the wind was so bad, it literally feels like it's going to rip you not just off the bike, but I've had it actually throw me into the other lane.
Yikes!
So yeah, it was the wind. The wind in Oklahoma is completely unexpected. It can be nothing, and all of a sudden, within 30 minutes, you've got a 60-mile-an-hour wind, and
Right.
it just doesn't let up. And talk about hail. I've never seen hail like it did in Oklahoma, right outside Oklahoma City,
Yeah,
like
that's part of
softball
the
size. It was crazy.
tornado alley, right? Isn't that
Yep.
part of? So
If it's not, it should be. It should be like out, tornado highway. I think
that's
it's
right. And Keith
bad
Everett's from
hail.
Oklahoma, right? Keith, that's where we met at the Southern American. So I'll be back there again. I have midlife motor crisis. He's going, and the Buffaloes are going as well. And then, oh, Bry the biker says that Dallas's meetup will be epic. Does that mean that Bry's going? Because he keeps saying he's not going. Talamina Highway
He
was
may.
beautiful. Yeah.
So Mark, Motor Mortician was saying that every time he sees a girl on a big ass bike, he's like, hell yeah, and I'm like, yes, because it's so. What's incomplete about our little social thing is you see a girl and they're like, yeah, it's too big. Those are dangerous. I'll hurt
Right.
myself. I'll drop it. Well, if anybody's actually seen Doodle or even Shay for that reason,
Right.
for really tiny girls, and here's the thing: don't drop the bike, and you can handle that bike. You got to work your way up to it, and
Right.
I'll definitely say that. But you can ride the hell out of that bike. I don't want to drop my bike either because my bike's heavy as hell. And there may come a day that I might be able to get that bike back up, but I'm going to keep riding it. I'll find out when I get
Yeah.
there. The day I drop the bike and can't get it up, I'll be like, oh well, I need help. Somebody come help me, and I'm sure somebody will help me out. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you should never let how big a bike is stop you from riding it, unless you just know you're going to kill yourself on it. If you don't have the self control, ride the hell out of that thing, and there's no reason not to.
Preach.
So yes, who said that? Yeah, I was not a cannon cocker, so I was a master at arms in the Navy. I retired as a master at arms, and the biggest confinement facility training area is Fort Sill, Oklahoma. They have a confinement area there that is one of the biggest in America for military prisoners. So I've actually been there twice.
Oh, wow.
Not in it. I was,
No.
I was a confinement officer there. Yeah, I was not in the prison. I was not behind the bars. I was on the other side of the bars. So yeah, that was a good time. A lot of good training there.
Nice. Yes, Robin says riding big bikes do take practice. I was nervous getting on going from the Kawasaki to the Harley Davidson, but I'm comfortable with her now. I'm good. And then I'll probably end up dropping the hell out of it in Robert's class. So we'll see. We shall see.
All right, so here's a good question for you. If somebody says, "Hey, I graduated the MSF, rode the bike to the 250 for 6 months. Now I'm ready to go to a bigger bike that needs to be easy to work on, easy to ride, and is pretty easy to operate." What would you tell them to get?
You know what? I love the Kawasaki, and I tell people all the time, if they're afraid, she weighs 498 dry, and you throw all the crap on it, saddlebags or whatever, she's still not that heavy. So if they're concerned about size, weight, or whatever, she's, like I said, if she had a bigger motor, I wouldn't have the Heritage. So I highly recommend the Kawasaki. Now there are some Harley Davidson loyalists out there like my kid will never ride a Kawasaki, or my wife will never ride a Kawasaki. But the minute they sit on it, they're like, ooh, ah. Oh, because she's comfortable. I
Yes.
had the seat redone, and she's just light. Like you sit on her, and you're like, oh wow. I think she's easy breezy to learn on, 100%.
Yeah. The good thing about motorcycles is, unlike a car, I was talking to somebody else about that at work today. A motorcycle, if it's not what you want it to be, but it's close, you can very cheaply make it whatever you want it to be, and it
Right.
doesn't
Or
cost much.
very, or very expensive.
Well, I was talking to somebody. I was telling somebody that's she was looking at trying to get something for work, and I was like, get a motorcycle. They said they're easy. They're easy to ride. They're easy to work on. They don't take much gas, and the insurance is so cheap. And they're like, why is the insurance so cheap on a bike? And I'm like, well, because there's really nothing to it. I mean, you really, if you wreck a car, you're looking at the car can not even be damaged, and it's a $20,000 bill to replace everything on it. That bike, you can literally replace the whole bike for some of them for $10,000. And so
Right.
you're not going to do a whole lot of damage to somebody else with it, so your liability isn't very much at all. So with it, where at a car, you get into a big GMC or something, you smash into another car, you've totaled that car and you got to pay for it. So
Right.
so they know a motorcycle won't do a whole lot of damage to another vehicle. That's probably another reason why it's so cheap to have insurance.
Correct. Yes. Iowa
But
Park Rider says that little Kawasaki is pretty sweet. He knows because he rode it. And Bob Nelson says the Heritage is very balanced because he has the twin to my bike. We're twinsies, except his is all chromed out and mine is blacked out. I love it.
right on.
See, and Corey almost bought the Vaquero. I like the Vaquero, but damn, she's heavy.
I like the look of it. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
again, my
And
BMW is 900 pounds, so
well,
nothing scares me after that.
when you look at the Vaquero, and that's the other thing about the Kawasaki's is that there's zero aftermarket parts. My backrest came from the Philippines. The floorboards came from England. Like you really have to search high and low to get parts for the bike aftermarket to make it your bike. But you know, if oh the Vaquero is just beautiful. I'm sorry.
It is beautiful. I missed part of a conversation. They're talking. They're kicking on to Air Force now. I'm not sure how that happened,
That's
but
Toby. He probably. Oh no, Toby's Go Army beat Navy. It must be Tweedledee. There we go.
I have no idea.
Tweedledee. He
Yeah.
started something with the Air Force.
I don't know how we got into the Air Force. They don't matter anyway. Okay. All
CJ
right.
Forgento. I met him today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's here in Florida in Homosassa, and we met for breakfast, except I went to the wrong place. I was on time, but I went to oh boy. I went to the wrong breakfast station. It happens, and Shelby's in the house too. So,
Cool. Yeah. Shelby says yeah, easy to work on is a relative term. Yeah, but they're sure a lot easier to work on than cars. And a whole lot less things can go wrong unless it's a very complex bike. But either way, we won't talk about Harleys.
that's right. There we go.
If you could go anywhere on a motorcycle today, where would it be? You wouldn't. You could start anywhere you want to in the world and ride to somewhere else. Where would it be?
I would. My goal is to ride in Australia. Robin, I'm coming for you, girl. Coming. Let's do this. But I have to, like I bought the RV, so I have to RV the hell out of it. Might be a while. Might be a while before I get out to you, Miss Robin.
Yeah, yeah. We have a lot of friends and associates down in Australia and in Tasmania, and Bolt Bucket's down there. Mad Girl Moto's down there, and when they ride around there, it's just gorgeous.
Yes. Well, I went in 1998 to Australia, and I was there for 3 weeks, and it's not enough time. 100%. You need, as long as your visa will allow you to be there, you need that time. So.
Yeah, I think so. Mad Girl went to the Grampons, and it was literally like, I don't know. It's half rainforest, half canyons, half riverland, and it's all together. So it looked really cool. But anyway, moving on. If you guys got any questions, throw them down in the comments. So, have you inspired anyone to ride or wrench on their own bikes?
Well, I don't wrench. God bless Moto Blonde and other Indigo. Right? Indigo works on her bike.
Indigo Moto does, yeah. Moto Blonde, I think, just puts extra things on her bike.
Yeah,
But
it's true. But not in person, but Moto Ping Sensei, who is Dorothy's wife, said that I inspired her. So we'll see. I try to, if I see somebody that wants to ride, just ride. Learn how to ride. If I could do it, anybody can do it. Trust me.
All right. So, if you could tell a new rider one thing that you had to learn the hard way, what would it be?
I, my advice would be to ride with experienced riders. When I started riding, it was myself and my friend who didn't have much experience. He was riding a Grom, and I was riding the Kawasaki, which there were a million hysterical stories about that for another time. But when you're surrounded by experienced riders, you're going to get better. When you're starting out with the two of you are just goofballs goofing off, you're not really going to improve your skills.
Yeah. That's
So,
it's like the adage. If you hang out with five millionaires, you become the sixth. If you hang out with five scholars, you become the sixth. So whatever you hang around with is what you're going
right,
to become. So
correct,
it's very take your riding very seriously. Who you decide to take advice from.
right, correct.
Yep. Five guys talk about the Marine Corps. The cool thing about the Marine Corps is actually the Marine Corps started in a bar. A whole bunch of drunk colonial soldiers were sitting around, and Navy guys were sitting in the 10-ton tavern in, I think it was in Philadelphia, and said, you know what we should do? We should start a group of sailors, put them on a ship, and all they do is fight. And here we are over 200 years later, and that's all the Marines do now is fight.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like the Irish. They just want to fight all the time.
There you go.
All right. What is one thing most people may not know about you?
I travel alone.
All right. Okay, here's a pair of questions, but if you could buy any bike right now, but you had to own it forever, what would it
I'd
be?
have to own it. I'd
You-
have to own it
You'd
forever.
have to own it forever. You can never sell it. You'd have to own it forever. What would it be?
They don't make the bike that I want. I want the Vulcan in a bigger engine. If they made that, I really wish they would make it. I would like to try a street glide and a road glide. I have not ridden one at all,
Okay.
but there's some demo days coming up, so it'll be somebody else's bike. Killfire, you ready to try a street glide? We're gonna try a street glide and a road glide. Nice.
Yeah. So Flip says the Navy is the Marines is the Navy's men's department. Do you know what the Navy is? It's a higher form of intelligent marine life. All right. What would you ride just once, knowing you could never afford it or ride it again?
The Pan America? I would like to try. They're gonna make a smaller one, right? They're
That's
supposed
what
to
I've heard. I heard they're going to put that
55?
990 into a Pan America and make it a smaller, make it a more manageable bike, I guess.
Yeah. So I would like that because eventually I want to go to Alaska. So Pete's 1800. He's going to Alaska this year. He's going to do a lot of legwork for me. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to just ride all the way. So traveling in the RV is going to be it's different. But then I want to ride when I get there, and I don't want to take one of these two beauties. So I need a third beauty.
Get something you don't mind dropping. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
it's,
Right.
yeah. And you can almost bet, and I think, enough people put this in their videos. When you go for these off-road trips, even, Carson's a fantastic rider, but when you get off-road, you get into 2-foot ruts, you're going to drop that bike eventually.
Yeah.
Due to either the road condition, tiring yourself out, getting somewhere and just having to get out and not, so yeah, be prepared when you do these off-road trips. The bike is going to go down eventually. Prepare yourself for it. So borrow the bike.
Is Robin leaving us?
Is Robin leaving us?
Stay longer than I can with this being Monday morning. Responsibilities are demanding.
All right, Robin. Nice having you in. I will answer your message and have fun out there in Australia. And don't get bit by a kangaroo. I hear they're kind of vicious.
They'll scratch you. I had a fight with one. I did have a fight with one. Sorry, I punched it.
I saw a meme the other day that said kangaroos are just deer that have been in prison.
They're out there. They're everywhere on the roads. They're in the fields. Like when it's dusk and you turn your, we climbed onto the top of the truck that we were in. It was like a, like a Range Rover, and they shine the light, and all you see are all the eyes of the kangaroos. So yeah, I did get into a fight with a kangaroo because previously another guest at this rehab place was teasing the kangaroo. So he had carrots and he was above and making the kangaroo hop to the, so he's teasing it. So the kangaroo got on its tail and he went to kick him, right, with his thunderous back legs. So with that, the lady said, let's go inside for tea and whatever's. We came back out and I was feeding it, same kangaroo. I should not have, but I fed it, and then all of a sudden he was like this and he went and then he went like this and his nails came out. So I stood up and, like he jumped towards me. I took a jump back. He jumped towards me. I took a jump back. And then after the third time that he took a jump towards me, I had my camera in my hand and I swung and I screamed out no, and he just hopped away. So
Yeah, that kangaroo boxing thing is real. That's how, and I've
is.
seen people do it. I mean, it's not even a joke. I've seen a guy. What was it? The one that the guy was out with his dog and it jumped on his dog and was trying to basically
Yes.
break the dog's neck. And he runs up, fighter stance, and punches it a couple times, and it runs away. He's like, "That's what you have to do there." I mean, they literally they're vicious. They say every animal in Australia wants to kill you. Some are just
It's
too
true.
small to.
It's
Yeah,
true.
not even a joke.
One of the things is that they said that he was going to grab me and pull and scratch my back. So if I didn't give him a little what for, that would have been, he would have scratched my back.
Yeah, they're pretty
And that's
dangerous.
fine out.
Toby Northern, I think, jumped out, so nice having everybody in. What is your toxic trait?
I am always late. I am late. I am always. I apologize to everybody in advance. Kelfire, get prepared. I am always late.
Ray's Motor Life says, clean your bike. Yeah, it's not for everybody. Speaking of which, so because of GMA, I actually have a t-shirt now in the shop that says, I ride my bike, I don't wash it. And I made that just for GMA.
Oh,
So-
no, I'm OCD, so I always have to clean my bike.
I have to clean mine. If I notice it starting to get grime or grit on it, I gotta even if I'm going to work and the windshield's dirty and I don't have time to wash it, I'll run out, just clean the windshield. It's like I don't know, not a point of pride. People were picking on me at the last camp out because they're like, your bike is always clean. I was like, are you kidding? My bike's filthy right now. And they're like, dude, your bike's the cleanest one here. And I'm like, no, it's not. Matter of fact, I might go wash it right now. Because
Yeah,
it's
but here we have the love bugs, and when you hit them, they release toxic stuff, and they will eat at your paint. So you have to, whether it's your truck or your car, your motorcycle, you have to clean the love bugs off.
yeah, yeah. In here it's the mosquitoes, and they have like the what are they called? Not asps, but they're basically tiny little things that are in the rice fields and in the they're not nets. They're like really small. They're almost like little pieces of rice, almost the size of, and they're hard.
Really?
And they'll hit the bike, and they build up on it, and they build up on the car until they build like a crust, and it's just all hard. So yeah, you got to keep your stuff clean around here. All right.
There you go. Water petition. The Florida stank is strong on mine at the moment.
Oh yeah, and love bugs stink. They smell very peculiar. Growing up in Texas, there were tons of love bugs, and they would they would be gooey. And to get them off, you would put Sprite on your grill and on your front bumper to get it off, because you literally had to eat it off. This stuff was nasty. All right, so last question, and I told you I had to remember to ask you this one. What is one thing that if you get on your bike, you are always going to have with you?
That I'm always going to have with me. My helmet. My helmet.
Okay.
Yeah, I've taken a couple of rides without the helmet, but I don't feel comfortable without it. It's not for me.
Yep. I've told this story before. I used to ride without a helmet, and then one day it was raining, and I decided to go see my wife. And the only reason I had a helmet on is because it was raining. The only reason I had heavy boots on is because it was raining. And truck pulled out in front of me and I hit it, and I was only going about 35 miles an hour. And I broke 2 ribs, separated my shoulder, and it looked like somebody smeared grape jelly down my side. The helmet, it was a construction truck, and it had the diamond plate toolboxes on it. And the diamond plate was embedded in the helmet, the imprints. And then as I flipped over the truck, it was like I had a very heavy leather jacket. I had like a 1.4 on, and I slid across the pavement. But I sent it to the manufacturer, and they said if I wouldn't have had that helmet on, not even vegetable stage, it would have crushed my head.
Oh, jeez.
Because when they cut it apart, they said the helmet took 1,200 pounds of force. It compacted the foam that much. So yeah, would not. So now I have a helmet on all the time. Helmet and gloves. I don't care how bad things are. Yeah. I'm going to have my helmet and gloves on.
Iowa Hog Ride is saying unless it's 113 degrees. It was very hot this year in Sturgis. We rode through Badlands. It was 103 degrees. I have never experienced that kind of heat. And let me explain. We have wind here all the time. The whole country, but it's always a cool breeze or a cool wind. The wind in Badlands was hot. It was like being in a dryer. Mm-hmm. That's something that even when you're on I-90, which is so windy, it's a cooler temperature. But in the Badlands, it was 103, and I'm gonna go with the wind was over 103. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd save my helmet. I wouldn't ride without it.
That's why I have a modular now. Even if it's hot, I can throw the whole front of the helmet up, and I can get at least a little bit of breeze. So if anybody got any last minute questions, go ahead and throw them in the comment. And you have any questions for me?
When you come back?
Funny you should ask. So obviously October I'm going to be back. Next March I'll be back. But I would love to come back for any reason, anytime before then. And I'm actually thinking about the next trip. Obviously, my wife is she's ill sometimes, so I think maybe next time we might both drive down, and I might rent a bike while I'm down there. And if I start doing that, then I'll be able to come down anytime I want to, because it won't take me 2 days to drive down.
Somebody with 2 bikes.
I know, right? I'm actually here's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if he's in the crowd right now, but I'm actually gonna hit up Jack Bueller and see if he'll let me ride the Ulysses.
Okay.
So.
Yes.
Because
yes, Bob, I agree. I dress for the slide, not the ride. I always have protective gear on and wear my gloves. I have a Bond body armor. They have a summer mesh shirt, which is perfect for here in Florida. So I like everything where it's at. I'm retired RV biker, 18.
Yeah, she works at having fun now.
Correct. YouTube is my job. How's that?
Yep.
I'm not very successful at it.
Oh.
I be at Arcadia Bike Fest. Yes, April 1st. We have a date, Norrie. And then Leesburg is after that. You just missed the opening day, but I think you were back home in South Carolina.
Oh,
it's Barracuda.
Yeah, I got to meet Nori this last time. We've actually been friends on YouTube for a while, and I finally got to meet him this last camp out.
What's my favorite RV park? Just Fort DeSoto, right here in Pinellas County. If it was a full hookup with sewer, it would be my top one countrywide. But here in Florida, Fort DeSoto, it's beautiful. 3 beaches, Dog Beach. So
awesome.
My favorite national park so far? It has to be Glacier. Glacier, for sure. I'm going back again this year. Who wants to go? Let's go.
I got to get an RV. I cannot wait to be able to put the video out that says, I quit my job to do YouTube full time. I'm hanging on. So, yep. You guys want to help me out, buy some shirts from my t-shirt shop. It'll be down in the comments below. Yeah, buy some t-shirts and some mugs and some hats. And I was joking the other day about this shop having, when you go on there, it asks you what kind of products you want. So there's t-shirts, there's jumpers, there's long sleeve shirts, there's the 3/4. And then they have like coffee mugs, and they have like campfire mugs that are stainless, and they have water bottles, and then they have aprons, and they have masks, and they have like book bags and backpacks, and I'm like, okay, that's too much. So yeah, so I have shirts, coffee cups, and water bottles on mine, and that's and that's about it. So, but you can get one.
Yes. 100%. Go to his shop. Go buy a t-shirt.
Go to my shop. Get a t-shirt. Tell everybody that you know me.
Boom.
All right. So we are going to close. So any last minute comments, throw them in there.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. I have totally enjoyed this. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Hit the comment. Go over to her channel. Go ahead and plug your channel and your Instagram.
Thank you. I am Winroad Therapy on YouTube and Instagram. I'm Winroad on Facebook because I couldn't get Winroad Therapy. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, if you want to see the beautiful places that I visit and then get to ride once I get there, come on over. I took a little break and getting back into it. But yeah, hoping to edit a whole bunch before I hit the road again. Because editing on the road is not fun. And
No.
Midlife Moto Crisis asked me about my internet service. I have a portable one, but I usually use the campground ones, and I haven't had a problem yet. But I try not to edit and upload too much on the road. I've done maybe 3 or 4 videos because I get that far ahead, if that makes sense. I try to, like I will sit here for a couple of weeks now, and I will bust out enough videos to keep me covered for the summer.
I don't have that much patience. If I finish a video, I'm like, I'm going to release this tomorrow. And if I make 2 at a time, I was like, tomorrow and the next day. I can't hold back. I'm very bad at Christmas.
Yes.
I want to open all the presents the night before. All right.
Look at
So
that. Miller's Mayhem is here. AJ. And RB Biker, yes, I'll be at Leesburg as well. Arcadia is April 1st, and Leesburg is at the end of April. So I'll be at both.
Awesome. So if you guys have not been to the Forgotten Angels campouts, go online. It's too late. Obviously, it's too late to make this spring ones, but go on to ForgottenAngelsFlorida.org, and they probably don't have a raffle open yet, but you can donate. So donate some money to them once you've been out there and met the boys and seen what goes on out there. You'll be hooked. You'll want to do everything you can, just like we do. To help out, and you will. So come out there, come out. You're ready to have a good time. Yes, it's a very great thing. A lot of the boys come back and help out even after they leave. So because it's very important to them. So we're going to close. Thank everybody for coming here. Thank you for being my guest tonight. And if anybody wants to be a guest out there, put it down in the comments.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a good one.